John. How are you today?
Good.
So, what brings you into my office to see me?
My coach told me to speak to you because he's concerned about my grades and my eligibility for playing baseball.
Okay, so progress reports came out yesterday. So, is that where he got that information from?
Yes.
Okay. So, I know you're a ninth grader, right? You've been here at Alhambra High for 2 months, I believe now. Um, so this is the first time we've met, and so obviously I am your counselor. Um, that will be meeting with you for various reasons. Do you know what a school counselor does?
No.
Okay, so let me define my role for you. I think it'll be helpful today and in the future. So my role basically is to help you get acquainted and transition to high school from middle school. It is to help you with, let's say, because it's never too early to talk about college and to think about colleges and what the requirements are. So I'm here for that also. Career exploration of anything you're interested in possibly doing in the future. Any issues or concerns you may have with peers, teachers, your grades, obviously. What else? SAT, ACTs, basically here for anything and everything that you need in order to make your school experience better. Okay?
All right.
Okay. So so that's pretty much my role. The next thing I want to discuss with you before we go any further is limits of confidentiality. Do you know what that means?
No.
Okay, so limits of confidentiality basically means that what we discuss in here stays in here. There are 3 times I may need to break confidentiality: danger to self, danger to others, or if someone in the past has hurt you. And it's basically for your safety and the safety of others. Okay? Does that sound okay?
Yes.
Okay. And so we have about 20 minutes today. What would you like to talk about?
My grades.
Your grades? Okay. Well, for one, obviously your coach, your baseball coach, did ask you to come and see me, right?
Yes.
And because it's obviously not only affecting your grades, but it's also affecting your baseball eligibility, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So when you say your grades, what are your grades? What do they look like?
C's, D's,
Okay.
and a couple F's.
Okay. So when you were in middle school, let's talk a little about your middle school experience. So I want to get a feel of in terms of your transition to high school. How was your middle school experience?
Easy.
Easy?
And a lot of free time.
A lot of free time? How were your grades in middle school?
A's.
A's? Okay. And when you say a lot more free time, what would you do on your free time?
Study and homework.
Homework? Okay. So you had more time to do that. Did you play sports when you were in middle school?
No.
No? Okay. So, and I'm assuming the school was smaller maybe?
Yes.
And how many teachers did you have then at that time?
2.
2, okay. So obviously it's a huge transition, right? You're coming from a school that had, how many kids did you graduate with from the 8th grade?
Probably 30.
About 30.
30, 40.
Okay. So you went from there to a school where the freshman class is about a few hundred, right?
Yes.
Like, I want to say like 250 maybe?
Yes.
Okay. And then you have on top of that, you have 6 teachers now, not just 2, right?
Yes.
And the demand of each teacher is probably a little bit more, because I don't, they're teaching their own subjects, right?
Yes.
And then you put in baseball, right? And I'm sure baseball practice it's a huge dedication, right?
Yes.
And a few hours of practice. Yeah, a day, I'm sure.
Every day.
Every day? Okay. So your coach asked you, he looked at your grades, he asked you to come in here because he's concerned, right? of your school performance and wants to help you bring up your grades?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So that sounds like you have a really good relationship with your coach, and he's pretty caring to be proactive, right? And,
Yes.
and trying to get you here and to hopefully we can problem solve to help you get to that point where it's not, to bring your grades up versus not being on the team. It sounds like you're a valuable player on his team so far,
Yes.
right? Okay, so can you? I know we spoke a little bit about your middle school experience. About how much time while you were in middle school did you dedicate? Would you say on a day, per day, doing homework, doing studying?
3 hours.
About 3 hours. Okay. And your grades were, as you informed me, were pretty good, right?
Yes.
So I'm assuming you were like on the honor roll in that. Okay. So going from middle school to here and kind of struggling with the demands of each class and sports and friends, right? Trying to balance all that out. I'm sure you have a home life too with your family and chores and stuff like that. How does that make you feel?
Frustrated and stressed out.
Stressed out, okay. That makes sense, right? That makes sense. Do you feel that high school, being in high school, that it's there's higher expectations?
Yes.
Okay. And what is your high school? Give me any day of the week, your experience. Like give me your routine on a day, on a specific on one day. So pick a day, let's say yesterday, and take me through your routine from the moment you wake up, which is the time, along with the time, to the moment you go to sleep, along with the time that you go to sleep.
Wake up around 7, go to school, and then school ends around 2:40, and practice is until 6 or 5, and get home around 6:30, 7, in between those two times, and then do chores, eat, and then whatever time I have for homework, and then go to sleep before 10.
Okay. And is that pretty much your routine almost every day, with the exception of probably, I'm assuming, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday?
Yes.
Probably a bit different. Okay. So you mentioned pretty much a little bit of time for homework and studying. How much time would you say a night do you normally spend on those two?
An hour.
Okay, so you went from 3 hours, right, in middle school to 1 hour now being in high school. So that's a huge difference, right?
Yes.
Okay. So how does it feel? I know you mentioned you feel stressed and frustrated. But how is the impact on you in terms of going from a student with having A's to now seeing your progress report and seeing that the grades pretty much are not the same?
I feel not good, and I feel like I should be doing what I was doing in middle school, and again, I feel frustrated and stressed.
Okay. So if, let's just say, for example, you want to sleep tonight, you wake up tomorrow morning, and somehow during the middle of the night, the frustration and the stress went away. It just went somewhere else. How would you know that it was gone? When you opened up your eyes, how would you know?
I would feel happy and excited to go to school, play baseball, and do my work.
Okay. And what would your grades look like?
Back to A's.
Okay. And obviously, like you mentioned, sports, so obviously it would be you wouldn't have to worry about not being eligible also, right?
Yes.
For baseball. what about your parents? In terms of them, how would you know also? Because I'm sure they play a role here too. Going from having certain um, expectations of you, right? I mean, good grades, very well-rounded kid or son to kind of struggling now. Do your parents know? I mean, first of all, have they seen your progress report? Let me ask that first.
No.
No. Okay. So let's go back to the miracle question. Um, if How would you know? I'm assuming once your parents find out they're not there, how would your parents react? Are going to react when they see your progress report?
They'd be unhappy.
Unhappy. Okay. So if the stress and frustration was gone, and you would know because you would be happy and you would want to go to school and you would be a part of the team and your grades would obviously be better. Um, then your parents saw your report and you, as you stated, it would be A's and D's on the report card. I'm assuming your parents would also another indicator would be that your parents would be pleased and happy, right?
Yes.
Okay. So it it sounds it sounds to me that your transition from middle school is so different than now, and the routine that you were doing in middle school obviously isn't going to work, in high school. It's kind of like trying to put a watermelon in an orange, right? It's they're even though they're at school, they're completely two different forms of education, right? Um, and it sounds to me that it's a component of maybe changing your 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 routine up, prioritizing. You mentioned earlier how homework was pretty much this amount of your time now, right? So it sounds like, if we make it a little bit more bigger, then you could definitely, that'll help you bring up your grades. Does that sound accurate?
Yes.
Okay. So what would you like to see different? And let's just talk within the next week. What would you like to see different?
Focusing more of my time and energy on studying homework and getting that done.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Is there anything else you would like to focus on? Or like to accomplish? What in a week from now? Today is Thursday. What by next Thursday? What would you like to also? Is there anything else you would like to see different or accomplished by then?
Being eligible for the team.
Okay. Do you think that when you're stressed, you mentioned being stressed and frustrated. When you're stressed and frustrated, you kind of just focus more on that, which affects other areas of your life?
Yes.
Like how? Like what other areas in your life besides being eligible for baseball and obviously your grades? What else is affected? Is there anything else affected in your life?
Relationship with parents.
Okay.
And that's about it.
Okay. So those are three big things, right?
Yes.
Relationship with parents, your school grades, and eligible for and being on the baseball team. It sounds like those are your three priorities. And it sounds like your frustration and your stress is definitely affecting all three, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, what do you think a solution would be? Which you've already sort of mentioned a little while ago. So, what would be a solution?
Making more time.
Okay.
For, again, studying and homework.
Okay. So it sounds to me like time management,
Yes.
right? Okay. And prioritizing the events in your life on a daily basis, right? Okay. So, how do you feel about meeting with me weekly to help you with managing your time?
Sounds good.
Okay. So why don't we go ahead and do that? Okay. What we will do is I'm going to give you some homework for the next week, and what I would like for you to do is I would like for you to think of a day, any day of the week. So let's pick now, so it can make it much easier for you. Um, which day of the week do you find to be the most stress, or you have the most um, jobs to do, or the most activities, or the most homework?
Monday.
Mondays? Okay, so which is good because today's Thursday. So on Monday, what I would like for you to do is um, I want you to make a list of everything that you do on a daily basis, or on that Monday. It's almost like journaling your day. So for example, let's just do this for example. 7 a.m. wake up. 7:30 school. Um, okay, then you can go down to, if there's anything that's really specific here or important for you, like right here, then you can definitely include it. Okay. For example, met with teacher to discuss grade. Okay, or met with teacher to discuss a project that's due next week. That's very important. Okay, or fourth period history class, teacher gave us a project to do that's to complete within the next week. Okay, because then that'll help that'll help us next week kind of figure out how to get that project done without making you even more stressed and frustrated. Okay.
Okay.
Then go down to, what time is baseball practice?
After school, so around 3.
Okay, so 3 p.m. baseball practice. 6 p.m. home. 6:30 chores, and then be specific what your chores were. Okay. 7 p.m. homework, and then I want you to put the time 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. homework and study. 9 p.m. Watch television, and then 10 p.m. in bed. Okay? So just, if you can just do that for me. It sounds like every day, you mentioned earlier that every day is pretty much the same in terms of the routine, right? So if we pick the day that you feel to have to be the most overwhelmed, it'll definitely help you out with the other days, right? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So if you go ahead and do that, and you're going to bring it in, what we're going to do is we're going to look at it. We're going to, if we have to maneuver the times, if we have to try to increase, we definitely need to increase your study and your homework time. Okay? It's really important. Time management is really important, because what time management does is it decreases our stress level, and it helps us to manage our other things that we need to do on a daily basis, and it prioritizes them, right? So for example, you want to, let's say if you said, oh, at 7 o'clock my friends wanted to go to have a burger at the burger spot down the street, and you have a science project due and you have to finish it, what prioritizing would be obviously the science project. And definitely, of course, you do need time to relax and to have to yourself, right? To have fun, right?
Yes.
Okay. So we're gonna manage all that, because when you're stressed and frustrated, it's hard to have fun, right? Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. Does that sound like something you can do?
Yes.
Okay. So that's gonna be the goal that we're setting, is for you to complete the time management, or I should say your Monday daily routine. Okay. And do you have any? That's pretty much it. Do you have any questions?
No.
No? Okay. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I have an open door policy, so you don't have to wait until next Thursday. If you want, if you have a question, if you think of something or something else comes up or happens, even if it's something positive, please feel free to come and chat with me or just to keep me up to date if you would like before then. If not, then I will definitely see you next Thursday at the same time.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much for meeting with me.
Thank you.
Okay, have a good rest of your day, John.